welcome to another week, another vlog, and I'm out in my garden. It's not the warmest and a bit breezy, but I thought I'd better come out and tend to some of my seedlings. I'm going to be nipping out, pinching out my cosmia. I've done quite a few in the polytunnel, but I've got some out here in this cold frame. So I'm going to nip their tops off. Let's get my scissors. Hang on a moment. It's not the warmest of days. These are the ones that, just a few, I've got loads more in the polytunnel, but these were the few that are in the, excuse my coffee, that were in the little cold frame back there. So I'm literally just going to go right back to the first set of true leaves, if they don't get blown away, because as you can see, they're quite lanky. And they do have, some of them do have a bud on, but I don't want them, they'll just have one flower. So, and just seems a bit brutal, but what I'll do is the tops I will plant up and hopefully they will root, so you'll get even more plants. So that's the tops all done. Looks a bit brutal, but it will make for a bushier, stronger plant, because the way they are at the moment, or the way they were, because I've topped them all, they would just blow over really. So this way hopefully will encourage a bushier growth. So I'll put these ones back in the cold frame. I have some areas in these seeds where it's not been as successful. So what I will do is I will pop, rather than wasting any soil, is pop these. They're blowing everywhere, aren't they? Yeah, they're blowing everywhere. Let's take the longest bit off and put a couple in there, and that then will double our plant load, because I will give some of these to family, so it's not all just for us. I will spread them about a bit. I'm not removing what's in here because they may pick up, and you just need to take that top bit off. But I think pinching these out is quite important, unless you want them extremely tall, but then they will only give you one flower, which is still fine. But so I will show you the little lean-to polytunnel, because I said in the last one that I was going to start planting out. Well, the temperatures just dropped, so I'm glad that I held on and didn't, because it's not that warm, and I think my husband said that there was a bit of a frost the other morning because it was so cold. But yeah, I'm going to go and put them back in the cold frame and see what happens. Take you round and we'll have a look in the polytunnel. There's quite a lot going on in here. Hell of a lot going on in here, and have kind of run out of room, and a lot of them are all ready to, like the straw flowers, a lot of them are ready to go out. So yeah, and then in the small little cold frame tent, I've topped out all the cosmos in here. They were quite lanky, and all the larkspur in there. I don't tend to use the bottom shelves. So when the weather gets a bit warmer, though we have had some glorious days, the wind has sort of turned to a more northwesterly, so it's a little bit of a nip in the air. But when it turns a bit warmer, I'll start. My son had 2 pasting tables, and they didn't need them. They got them for a boot sale and then didn't end up using them, so they gave me one. And I thought, well, if we get a really hot day, I can put the seedlings out in the sun. But I'm just You know, we're in May. I'm really hoping to get some in the ground. I'll show you. You know, I was telling you about my winter pansies, which just didn't do anything over the winter. Well, they're doing something now and they look really pretty, which makes me think, were they winter ones or just pansy mix? I don't know. Oh, it's a bit windy. So maybe we'll do a garden tour again with things that are sort of flowering and doing really well a little bit later, because it's a bit windy. So we'll probably see you inside. As you saw, it's chucking it down, so each time I kept thinking, well, I'll take you for a tour around the garden to show you what's going on, and it just keeps raining. I don't know who turned the summer off. Yesterday we had hailstones. It seems to be put the gazebo up and started knitting a summer top has just cursed the weather. But talking of knitting, I finished the back. You can see it's quite pretty, with quite a wide ribbon at the bottom to make it sort of puff out. So yeah, that's the back, and I'm starting on the front of that. So that's the knitting project. And I've been looking this morning on lots of other knitting patterns that I'd like to try and bookmarking them all, getting quite a list of ones that I would like to knit. I think my next thing will be something for the baby. And I've been carrying on with my horse, and that's, you know, wanting to get in the garden because I wanted to sort of, you know, show the not meadow, the long bit of grass with wildflowers, to sort of wanted to log what was coming up in that patch. Wanted to actually write down what we actually have in there, because there are quite a few wildflowers in there and I just wanted to document it. And there's a few jobs around the garden, mainly the front garden, that need addressing, but every time I think I'm going to go out there, it chucks it down with rain. But if we put the gazebo away, the weather would be beautiful. So you can blame us. We put our gazebo up and we doomed summer. So I'm going to be carrying on with my needle felted horse. Just putting on the base colour at the moment. I need to make hooves and all that palaver for that. I will try and get out and show what I said in the last segment about the pansies out the front, in the pots out the front, that are coming up lovely. They're the winter violets and winter pansies. Didn't do anything over the winter, but as I said, are doing something now. And I've also noticed out the front, by the front door, with the crack in the paving that connects, is sort of up against the house. We always have loads of weeds coming out of those little crevices. But I have noticed that Alison and Lobelia have self-seeded themselves there. So I'm in a quandary. Do I leave them in there and just let it flower and make it look pretty? Or do I try and get them out and put them in the pots, which I think is probably the better option than leaving them where they are. There are weeds growing in there as well, and I think by having them growing there is going to make it difficult, because I'm probably more likely to pull them out accidentally while trying to pull out the weeds. So I think that maybe I could gently prise them out. I don't want to waste them. I could prise them out and then put them in the pots that are out the front there. Yeah, we're just wanting to get in the garden, but it's no fun, is it, in the garden in the wet? I mean, I'm not normally a fair weather gardener, but you know, it does, it attracts you more when it's warm and the sun's shining, isn't it? You're more likely to want to go and potter and to cultivate things, you know, deadhead things, and yeah. So as I say, doing a little bit of my needle felting, done a little bit of me knitting this morning, and that's sort of how it's going. You're sort of a bit limited to what you can do when it's raining, but then I'm not limited to what I'm doing. I can be indoors doing as well as outdoors doing. It does make it quite dark for working at the table here though. I have got my craft lamp that I can deploy. I mean, it seems quite bright, doesn't it? On camera it seems quite bright, but to actually look down and do this seems quite dark, and the fact that the horse is a dark colour. I mean, as I say, I'm only going over it at the moment with the base colours before I put in any details. I will probably do the base colours all over the core wall that I've already done. Cover all of those. I mean, you can see there's patches here that need covering. Put the hooves on to the correct, and then I can start working down to the hoof. Then I've got all of it covered, and then I can start concentrating on the dapples and the shading and all of that lovely stuff. But it is taking me a while. He's very firm, which I like, very firm, but poseable, which is nice. To be able to pose your models is nice. But yesterday the hail came down. Cat had just gone out. And luckily the gazebo was there because she was under the gazebo, and I come to the door and let her in. It's like she's in now on the beanbag. She's given up trying to go out there in the rain. I mean, it's easing off again now. It just keeps coming over, and it did the same yesterday. So, and it's cold. I'm cold today. So I really don't know what happened to spring. But there's one good thing about rain. It makes the garden beautiful, doesn't it? Everything just grows so much better when it's had lots of rain. Maybe it's just going to be a wet summer. As long as it's interspersed with some nice days. I don't really mind because I can be in here doing whatever I want to do. And then if it is nice, pop out into the garden. As I say, a lot of my seedlings really do need to start going into the ground because I've run out of room. I've got to, I'll probably get at the weekend about another bag of potting compost because I need to move up my delphiniums. They need to be promoted to bigger pots because they've got their true leaves, if not more than one set of true leaves. Bot-botting, as my husband calls it. He calls it bot-botting. He says, "Are you bot-botting?" Yeah, I'm bot-botting. They're pretty lethal, aren't they? The barb needles, which I need to get some new because I'm run out. It looks like there's some in the small, but there isn't. They're broken ones. But I'd like to get maybe some the star needles. So I might do that. Might order some of those next month. To be quite honest with you, I don't really notice the difference with speed wise or felting wise. If I go for a less, these were not expensive, but yeah, I find they do really well. I just Oh, that's that tool I was telling you about. You know, I said it had 5 in there. It has more than 5. How many does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It holds 8, but trying to get in with that, I think that's better if you're 2D felting, flat felting. That would really lend itself, but I think for 3D model making, personally, myself, I wouldn't recommend. Well, I can't work with it unless you were doing a really, really big sculpture. Then maybe it would work. But I only ever work in this size. It's actually stopped raining now. I think while it's calmed down a minute, we'll go out the front and have a look at the pansies. Right, out the front now. These are the winter violets that are coming out beautiful, and the winter pansies giving a lovely show this time of year. Maybe not so much in this one, but at least some of them have come up. So yeah, quite pleased. And then here, look, lobelia, Alison, more lobelia, Alison coming up there. So yeah. Right, well, back indoors again. Yeah, so I think I'll wrap it up now for this week. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that colourful stuff. So till next time, take care. Bye for now.